Hello, I am Lorraine Gutierrez. This is my channel, Lessons in Love, where I get to try to center myself, where I get to share with you the lessons that have allowed me to grow and hopefully be a better person as I go along. Uh, um, Today I want to tell you about something that happened at the drive-thru, and I'd like to say I'm embarrassed about it, but I'm gonna go ahead and be honest. I got to sort through it and see it for what it was. Now, the whole premise here is that Abraham teaches us a lot, by the way. Everything is always working out in my best interest. It always is. So when I get mad at poor Dave, oh, poor Dave. Dave is a 9 on the Enneagram. He's got to follow the rules. He's got to march to the beat of all the drummers, and he's a reluctant sheeple, but he's still a sheeple. And he's such a good guy. I mean, really a good guy. So here's the story. We are in the Burger King drive-thru. We're in the Burger King drive-thru, and I'm a vegetarian. I have gotten to really not like the Impossible Burgers or the Beyond Burgers. I just they don't do it for me. So what I was thinking was I'm gonna go through and get a Whopper, okay, and ask them to put like double the vegetables because I don't know the terminology just yet because I prefer to know the terminology so when I order they know what I'm talking about. Kind of like when you go to get coffee or whatnot. You go to Starbucks, you want a venti, but if you go to Human Bean, I want a 20 ounce. And, they use a scoop as opposed to ounces. So, you want to know the terminology. But I didn't know. I said, asked for double vegetables. And Dave tells the guy, I'd like a Whopper with double the vegetables, the patty on the side with extra ketchup. I swear to you, Dave said this like 5 times. And the guy's just like, no entiendo. Like, no comprende nada. This guy was not getting it. Not, not getting it at all. And he's like, so you want 2 patties? And Dave's like, no. Excuse me. Dave's like, no, I want the patty on the side. I want a regular Whopper. He's like, oh, you want an Impossible Burger? No, I swear to you, Dave was doing his best to be very, very, very patient. So, and then I wanted onion rings. Well, Dave wanted large onion rings, and I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. So, we get to the checkout stand. We get to the window, and the total's like $11.95. I'm thinking, for a Whopper with extra vegetables, like this is, Dave's trying to, well, $6 for the burger and $3 for the, like, okay, that just doesn't sound right. Well, when he gets the receipt, they charged us for an extra patty. And so Dave's like telling him, no, we didn't want an extra patty. We wanted the patty on the side. And she's like, and the guy who took the order, he's like, and he's not like comprehending, like not at all, no entiendo. And then, or is it comprende? I don't know, whatever. Anyway, either one. And so then he brings over this other girl, and she's like, and she's still not understanding what Dave is saying. Like, I was in Twilight Zone. I'm thinking, you gotta freaking be kidding me. So then she's like, okay, well, we gave you some extra onion rings. And I'm like, Dave, did you get a refund for that patty? The patty was $2.50. I'm thinking, dude, that's 2/3 of a human being. That's my coffee there. And so I'm like, Dave, you need a refund. Dave doesn't like to buck the system. He doesn't like to go against the water, the waves. So he's like, I'll drive around. There's like 7 cars behind us. I'm like, okay, I knew there was cars behind us, and okay, I can go with that. Fine, that's Dave. We get around there, and I don't know what the deal was, but downtown Reno, they're kind of freaked out still about this whole non-virus thing. I just want to scream. COVID doesn't exist. The coronavirus is a cold or a flu. It's been on doctor's reports for, anyway, you guys all know this. So he comes back in. I'm like, Dave. He's like, well, fine. And he gets really upset. Well, fine. I'll just go through drive-thru again. And he's like spitting his venom at me. And of course, being who I am, still working on staying in peace and still working on, being that love, I start spinning back. And we got into a pretty big argument. I'm like, you know what? Let's just go. Just whatever, forget it. And so, the cool thing is because of the work that I've been doing, I don't stay angry very long at all. Once I realize how ridiculous it is, and and actually most of the time nowadays, it's my reaction to somebody else's reaction, and I don't like being pulled along, by a lead. I don't. I just. So you other truthers and ascensioneers know that the whole point of what's going on right now is that we have to step up and step into our power. So I don't like it when I'm triggered by perceivably somebody else. Obviously, everything comes from inside us. Everything outside of us is a mirror. So nobody can make me angry. Nobody can make me upset. Nobody makes me anything. I allow myself to go there. And sometimes it's almost even just a reaction, like that day, I was telling you guys that I just was thinking, ooh, I'd like some ribs. And then I realized what I was thinking. I'm like, ugh, no more meat. We're not doing meat anymore. Ew. So it's almost like a knee-jerk kind of thing, or just a rehearsed response. So we get home and I'm looking at the burger, and get this, people, there's not even a patty inside the sandwich. There was only one patty, and it was in a little container. So they charged me for a patty that I didn't even get. And I'm sitting there thinking, you've got to freaking be kidding me. I just yelled at Dave. We got into a full-blown argument. Dave and I haven't been in an argument in months, because I'm doing a lot better with, keeping everything like even. I think that this blue light is just kind of getting on my nerves. Let's see if that works. Oh, look at that. Judging. Okay. It's the keyboard. Dave wanted a gaming keyboard that has blue lights, and I love the way it presses, but it's got blue lights all over it. Okay, so anyway, I'm thinking, okay, fine. I called Burger King and I talked to the manager, and I'm like, I'm annoyed and I'm frustrated. And let me tell you what happened. And then he gives me excuses. Well, mostly we get people who want the Impossible Burger, or most of the time we get people who want an extra patty on their Whopper. So he probably just misunderstood. Of course he misunderstood. We get charged for a patty that we didn't even get in our sandwich. I'm just thinking, okay, Lorraine, everybody's doing the best they can, including you, who just yelled at Dave Gomes for almost no reason. Okay, get over yourself. So I'm talking, and I said, okay, I know, we've been to this Burger King many times, and I have not had a problem, before. And so I just wanted to give you the opportunity to make this right. So what he did was he offered me basically a free meal, the exact same meal, for free at a later date. And that he would go and talk to the staff. So all the information was exchanged, blah, blah, blah. And then I sit back and I'm thinking, how ridiculous it was for me to get mad at Dave. How incredibly ridiculous. Anger is a tertiary emotion. Usually first it's some kind of sadness or fear, like fear and then sadness, then anger, something along those lines, depending on who you are. I mean, you can jump around, but these are like three of the lowest, emotions. These are like three of the lowest energies. So I'm sitting there going, I cannot believe, and I even yelled at Dave. I'm like, it is time for you to stand up for yourself. I know that there were cars behind us, but it was our turn, and they mischarged us. It's not okay. And Dave's like, and he's a 9 on the Enneagram. So again, go with the flow, no conflict, whatever. And, that's not me. Yeah, that leads me to another story about T-Mobile, but that's another video. I'm trying to be more concise, do my best. So after I get off the phone and I'm thinking about what had happened, I just started laughing. And I'm thinking, it always works out in my best interest. Every disappointment, every time something goes wrong, even the parents I had that treated me the way I decided to be treated before I came to this body, even that was a gift. Every situation that seems or feels or appears to be negative, almost always, and I see now, I can say always, I can honestly say always, lessons are gifts. They're gifts we gave ourselves before we came into these bodies, before we came into this third dimensional reality. The color of your skin doesn't mean anything. The color of your hair doesn't mean anything. How beautiful or pretty you are. All these things are just part of the experience that we chose before we came in. There are some set things that we don't change or can't change because they are meant to be solid. But the smaller things, like what happened at, Burger King, that ended up being a beautiful gift. Something similar happened at Human Being. This was like a week and a half ago or something like that. I was thinking I wanted a 32-ounce granita. Now, granita is like a fluffy blended drink, and it's low carb, so it doesn't have all the sugar, and it drinks like one of those, like a milkshake, sort of like from a fast food place. But only comes in vanilla or chocolate, and you add coffee, so it's like a mocha, and it's just, oh, they're tasty. And then I get the sugar-free chocolate drizzle. Well, if you buy the 32 ounce, it's like $7. You, yeah, six something, $7. You get the 20 ounce, it's like five something. So I kept going back and forth between, 20 ounce, but I really wanted 32 ounce because I can drink that over like a 2 day period. And and you keep it in the fridge and it stays fluffy. I don't know. It's probably got crack and some kind of additive and I don't know, cream of some young guy. I have no idea what's in it, but, I consider it one of my things. Anyway, and I kept going back and forth. And so I ordered a 20 ounce, even though I really wanted the 32. Well, when Dave hands me the cup, I'm like, this cup is big. And then when we look at the total, I'm like, that total is kind of big too. So we pull away and we check the receipt and they charged me for a 32 ounce. I got a 32 ounce. And I'm like, oh, that's not what I ordered. And I was kind of getting a little like, oh, you know what, my space, rah, 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 doing the little doggy behind the fence thing. And after about like 10 seconds, I swear to you, 10, 15 seconds, it took me that long to get over this. I'm sitting there going, I started laughing. Like, I wanted a 32 ounce. I did. In my mind wasn't reconciling the price with what it was and all this other stuff. But I got my 32 ounce. And so even though I got upset with Dave, I got a free, sandwich for future. And Abraham always says, as part of your morning ritual, say, things are always working out for me. Things are always working out in my best interest. Even when something doesn't seem to go right or well or the way you want it, it always works out in my best interest because that's just what it does. And there was a woman on a commercial, and I think I said this already in another video, but there was a woman on a commercial on YouTube. And she said, the universe is willing to play with you if you're willing to play with it. And so once you start raising your vibration and, you're in joy more often than you're not, you're happier genuinely more often than you're not, you just start exuding that life. And even before, when I first started this journey, I was always wanting to be happy, but hadn't cleared out enough stuff. And I was always trying to just put myself in a good mood, trying to do it. Well, I'm at a place now where it just kind of flows. And today, my 11-year-old daughter, who knew me back from the time that I used to spank her all the way through the time now where I'm sitting there laughing at some of the stuff she does. She broke her friend's tablet. I'm sitting there going, I'm not mad. You just have to pay for it. You're responsible. You got to pay for it. And, she's looking at me like, huh? And then her dad's like, rah, 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 rah. And so it's really interesting how I handle things now. And she's like, you are the happiest person I know. And I'm like, you know what? Honestly, I looked her right in the face. I said, it's meditation and crack. And she just started laughing. So things are always working out for me. Just trust that. When we left Albany, Oregon, We had to leave a lot of our stuff because of the way we chose to come home. We chose to use those containers. And we get here, and a lot of our furniture had to stay behind because the containers just didn't hold. We had, a 2-bedroom apartment, and the containers just didn't hold our stuff. We left a lot in Albany, Oregon. And, but here's the deal. So I'm a little frustrated that there's like nothing in our apartment, but hey, well, okay, I'm gonna skip that part of the story, but there wasn't much in our apartment. Well, get this. My apartment manager is like one of the coolest people. So in that next month or so, people were moving out and leaving beautiful furniture. And she said, "Do you want it?" I'm like, "Oh, yeah, I do." And I've got some really nice pieces of furniture now because people, again, like we did, they abandoned their stuff because they couldn't take it. And I ended up with some really nice furniture. And I ended up just giving my apartment manager just, gift card to human being. He just out of gratitude, just to say thank you. So it may not seem like it at first, but if you can sit in a space where you trust, no matter what seems to be negative, no matter what seems to hurt, no matter what seems to feel uncomfortable, believe and trust and know that even if you don't see it now, you will see how it is in your best interest at some point. You will see it. You will see it. And there's one more thing I want to say on this topic. Dave is, I'm working on my stuff, meditating nearly daily, sage work and sound healing, and I've been doing a lot of hypnotherapy. I was a certified hypnotherapist, so we worked on each other. I still go through energy workers and things of that sort. And so Dave is in the same space I am, and so it's kind of rubbing off. It's a residual thing. The whole vibration of the whole space has to rise. It has to. And it's just kind of the law of energy. So a while ago, when Dave came back to work at his job at the hospital, he was always telling people, "I'm fantastic," but it sounded so empty. And I never said anything to him because I didn't want him to stop, working toward being positive. Well, over the last 2 or 3 days, when he says it now, it sounds and it feels real. It feels authentic. And so I remember being back then, like, I wanted to be in happiness. I wanted to be in space, and I was always trying to just be happier. Even though I'm a fun person, always have been. I keep telling people I'm a responsible 5-year-old. Even though I had that life and fun and that spark and always wanted to dance and sing and bobble around, genuine happiness didn't come until relatively recently. It just didn't. And there's a true, settled, beautiful happiness. And I'm excited because with so many physical problems like my vision, my weight, my spine, it's just out of place, nothing really big. My knee, the arthritis, the ligament. I mean, I've got all these little teeny problems that you wouldn't know unless, I told you for the most part. My weight, well, it's kind of obvious. Because I know that everything physical in your life is a manifestation of your own energy. So I know I still have tons to clear out. And I know that I still have a lot more to go. But my body went vegetarian by itself. I am genuinely happy most of the time now. I can get out of anger, sadness, and fear. Probably the longest I was upset, that last video I made, before I had come out, I was just really feeling the loss of the friends and the closeness that I would share with certain people. But there's a divergence. It is happening and it is real. And when I think, because what happens with me is that I feel complete truth. I can't say something that isn't true because it'll gnaw at me. And depending on how bad it is, it'll hurt my stomach or my chest will tighten, or I just know that's not true. So when I hear somebody talk, and I can feel that they're mostly true, or that's 100% true, or God, that person is full of baloney, their eyes are pink. I can feel that. Okay. So I'll think something like, I don't know. I can think something like, like we're talking about, like like my growth. Okay, so my healing. And I realize that I've come a long, long way. As if you're watching this video, you so have you. I mean, that's just a like energy. I've come a long, long way, and I think about all the physical issues that I still are working on. That is a release. You don't actually work on the problem. You work on continuing just to release crap, and it just kind of fixes itself. It just does. It has to. So when I think about the family and friends, I realize that there's just this sadness, we're going separate directions. And it's not that we have a difference of opinion, we have a difference of energetic origin. When people are still here thinking that Biden is president and that he's still the cat's meow, when you can see it even in mainstream media now that everything about what's going on is fake. They still can't see it. They're so blind. They're so indoctrinated. They're so just in a state of illusion that they can't see what's right in front of them. It's like, how your brain fills everything in, kind of like the guy with, Burger King. He's like, so you want a double? No, I want the patty on the side. I want double the vegetables. Oh, by the way, if anybody cares, their terminology is heavy vegetables, extra ketchup, patty on the side, just for future reference. So when we're diverging with our family and friends, you can feel the loss. And I'm like thinking that, at times it can be a little lonely, but only at times, because when you're connected, you're enjoying most of the time. And pretty much I spend most of my time learning something. I'm working on learning tarot cards and finishing learning Spanish, and then of course ascension stuff and meditation and sound healing. And came up with a couple more melodies for singing with the drum, and I'm hoping to get a little pan flute or those wooden bamboo flutes, Native American style, on our trip this June. I'm hoping to get a good one, but I'm still working and learning, so it's not like I have a whole lot of spare time. But it would be nice to barbecue. It'd be nice to have some friends and play some music and get some plant-based doggies and some zucchini and throw it on a grill. It would just be phenomenal, but I don't have that right now, and I was kind of missing it. And if I ask a question out loud, I almost always get an answer. And so I was at the river and I was thinking, you know, I really miss people. And even though humanity, I love humanity, but obviously at this particular point, as you know, we kind of have to be selective about who we spend our time with, because the negativity can be a real bummer or a drain. And that's just not where we want to be. It's not, it doesn't feel good to want to. And what I heard loud and clear was taking this time for more growth, because I've got my daughter, she's 11. I've got Dave, and I enjoy the domestic role, but I still need to take time for me and meditate and learn and do all this other stuff. Like I'm learning about Rife frequencies right now, which is way cool, and it kind of goes along the line with like the quantum healing beds that are coming, and basically everything that we have not been consciously tapping into as of now. Okay, so anyway, uh, but what I was told is the friends are coming. The people that I'm gonna say jive with. I know that's a really old term. Yes, I grew up in the 80s. The friends that I jive with, the ones that we that you can line dance with. It's like trying to do the boot scoot boogie with the Macarena. It just doesn't work. Um, God, I just totally dated myself. It was awesome. Okay, so it's just a time for introspection, just like most other people who are at home for one reason or another, either with the kids or because of work or whatever the case may be. Just really getting to sort things out and find yourself. So I was told that there are people out there, there are friends coming, and there are barbecues in my future, and there is camaraderie and networking, and it is all there, and it is coming. Just continue to do what I'm doing, to learn, to grow. I'm a teacher at heart. I am a lover of humans and animals. I love animals. And health. I've spent many, many incarnations in science and health. And it's who I am. So I can never stop teaching, and I can never ever stop growing. And probably if you're watching this video, you're probably in a very similar boat. So the basis of this video is, please remember, everything is always working out for us. Everything is always working in our best interest, and it may not feel good at the time, but there's a bigger picture. There's always a bigger picture. And there's a bigger picture. I mean, everything from the children, the dumbs, all the way to the children who are of parents who are like a spoiled origin. The parents don't have time for them. I mean, all these things seem extremely horrible to the person going through it. But the lessons, the gifts that they've given themselves are huge. They're big. This is one incarnation, just one in a drop of a bucket. And there's a lot of reasons why there's more incarnations, but that's a whole nother video and a whole nother level of digging. So remember, it may not seem like it at the time. These mask things, whether or not you know what the benefits are at this point, you either will know more or you'll know some, or whatever, wherever you are, it's going to increase. The whole money situation, like for people who are, a little strapped for money, there was unemployment. My friend was saying, oh, there are so many people that are hurting. Well, people were given unemployment, and I was on unemployment once, and unemployment almost perfectly matched the wages that I was earning. So I don't know if that's true for people now, but we can't negate the lesson that comes with the unemployment. We can't negate the lesson that comes with being home with your family, positive, negative, or whatever's in between. And remember, people who are choosing to take the jab, or people who are choosing to not wear masks, or people who are choosing, we are choosing. And there are so many of us saying, don't take the jab, don't take the jab, don't wear the mask. Well, guess what's happening? These people are standing up to us, their family, their friends, their loved ones, saying, no, I'm going to take the jab. I'm going to wear the mask. So in a way, they're standing in their power too. Okay, so that was a little detour, a little diversion. Again, bottom line, look at the benefits that could possibly come. Wait for the solution to be resolved. And, then you can more clearly see the benefits. So if you can't see the benefits right away, like why we're staying home, or why someone would take the jab, or why, someone tripped and fell on a rock. If you can't see the benefits at the moment, do your best, because there always is some. And if you can't, wait till it's resolved. And then go ahead and look back and go, oh my gosh. So I'm sitting here yelling at Dave. I didn't know there was a free meal down the line. And free is fun. I love free. I love gifts from universe, and just, oh my gosh. And lately I've been getting a lot of them hand over fist. It's just, I am so grateful. I sit in appreciation, and I'm really excited. So thank you very much. I'm Lorraine Gutierrez. This is Lessons in Love. Thank you for joining me here today. And I look forward to seeing you again sometime very, very soon. Blessings.